guys, and welcome to Kyoto! So, been very busy for the past week, basically, in Tokyo. We were staying in Shinjuku, which is sort of out to the west side of Tokyo if you were to look on it on a map. It was kind of in the middle of all the hustle and bustle, basically, all the shopping and kind of nightlife places as well. Like, there were lots of restaurants staying open late and lots of karaoke bars. Very, very busy with people. Do have another video of where we went yesterday. We went to Shibuya, which is it's kind of to the west and then southwest, next to Shibuya. If you were next to Shinjuku, if you're looking at that on a map. So if you zoomed in a little bit, you'd be able to see. And that was mega busy. Like, there's the biggest, well, I don't think it's the biggest, but it's the most busiest road crossing in the world, apparently, which is at Shibuya Station. So I've got another video which I will upload at some point soon. So I just wanted to talk very briefly about my main experiences being in Tokyo, and a little bit about the different customs, I guess, or the way a lot of people have been with my boyfriend and myself whilst we've been there, because I've read a lot of stuff and some of it has been quite negative. You know, there have been a few mentions of Japanese people really not liking English and American people and being very rude to them. We so far have not experienced any of this apparent rudeness. Everyone we've met has been absolutely delightful. You know, some people who have known a bit of English have been really keen to try out their English with us, and other people have not known any English really, other than sort of the Japanese way of saying English words, which is they have a writing script specifically for foreign words that are then written into Japanese, which is a katakana script. So for instance, they take words such as terebi, which is television shortened, or computer, or let me think of another one. Smartphone is smartphone, I think, which they just shorten to smartphone. They have a lot of different words like that that are taken from the English language or American language, whatever. You know, people have been really friendly and they've been very helpful when we've asked them. We haven't seen a lot of people that sort of approached us as we were reading a map and say looking a bit confused. Like, we haven't had really anyone come up and say, oh, do you need a hand or anything like that. The first experience we had of that was today in Kyoto. Chris and I were looking at a map because we weren't quite sure where we were, and this lady came up and she was like, daijoubu this car. She was like, are you okay? Luckily we kind of knew where we were going, so we didn't need any help, but that was really nice. But yeah, Tokyo, very busy place. They have a very sort of honourable way of accepting money. So when you go into a shop and you put your note on the counter, they have these little like trays for the money. So basically what you're supposed to do is, let me just try and show you an example. Imagine like this is a tray. You go to put your money in and they sort of, they'll take it off you and bow as they're doing it. And it's just really like very honourable to, well, they're showing honour to you, I guess, if that makes any sense. It's like, oh, thank you for giving us your money. It's really nice. Like, in England, people are just like looking at you like, where's your money? Are you going to pay me yet, sort of thing? Are you going to give it me? Blah blah blah. They can be a little bit patient or a little bit rude. Everyone here has been so polite, and whenever you go into a shop, people say "irashaimase," which is welcome, basically. Which is amazing. You go in and you don't have to say anything. That's the weird thing. As an English person, if you go into a shop and somebody says, "Hi, come on in," you sort of go, "Oh, hiya," that sort of thing. It's not always done in England. You don't always talk to people as soon as people go in shops because it seems to put people off. So here, I kind of want to say something back, but you know, they don't seem to expect it. You know, there have been some very weird instances where you go into a shop and the person will say "Irashaimase," and you know, let's say there's other girls, Japanese girls shopping, they will like blank the person, the shop assistant, until they need something. And sometimes, you know, say if you want this item, I've seen girls that literally go and just like shove it almost in the face of the person who's a shop assistant to sort of be like, "Yeah, I'm buying this now," because, you know, the shop assistant is lower than the customer. The customer is higher than them. They have a very interesting system for who is higher and lower in sort of ranking. It's one of the ways that people speak. You know, if you've got a boss, you always speak to them in more honorific terms than you would do your best friend. And say if you're a customer, you don't have to talk so honorific to the shop assistant because they're lower than you. You know, it's interesting to get used to. Konbini, brilliant. In Tokyo there were loads. Literally you can't walk maybe 5 meters without there being another one very close, and there are several different branches. There's 7-Eleven, there's Lawson, there's Family Mart, there's another one called like K Plus, I think it was. Loads of different konbini. And one thing I would say about konbini is they don't sell ingredients, they sell ready meals. And it's not a ready meal like you get in England where it's like a thing that you necessarily microwave. They do all sorts. They do onigiri, which is rice balls, or they come in triangular shapes as well, which is like a snack item. Or in most of them you can get sushi, not sashimi, that's only really for the supermarkets, the bigger stores. And there's lots of different rice sort of things. They do bento as well, which is basically the equivalent of an English ready meal, but these are fresh. These are like made on the day. These aren't made yesterday, a week ago, whatever, and shipped out. These are made very close, if not sometimes in the stores, and you know, kept out fresh, so you know it's fresh food. There's lots of packaged desserts, cakes. They really seem to like their cakes or bread products, so there's lots of sweet bread. Like you can get them filled with custard, filled with cream, filled with chocolate. They have sandwiches which sometimes can be filled with cream and fruit and stuff like that. So if you're vegetarian, it's a paradise, absolute paradise for vegetarians. However, if you're vegan, it is very difficult unless you're able to read a lot of Japanese, especially kanji, because all the ingredients are in kanji. Then you're not going to be able to know what's what unless you also have the language skills and can go up to a shop assistant and say, you know, "Excuse me, does this have egg in, or does this have meat in, or does it have, you know, a specific meat or whatever?" You're not going to know. It's been very difficult, and I kind of had in my head that it was going to be one of these rice paradises where you would go to any restaurant and you'd be able to get rice wherever you go, which is not the case. As I mentioned before in another video, I think basically they're very specialised. So there will be one shop that only does tempura, there will be another shop that only does katsu, there will be another shop that only does like sushi or sashimi. You know, very specialised, and it's very few places that are sort of like little pubby kind of things, or little cafes will do a mixture of those. So yeah, it has been very difficult to find vegan foods. One thing as well that I should mention is fruit and vegetables are generally more expensive. So I got a small packet of bananas for about 200 yen, I think it was, which is it's just over £1. But that was less than a kilo of bananas, and I know in Asda in the UK you can get a kilo of bananas for about 68p or something. So the prices are higher. The fruit juices isn't so bad, just under £1 for a litre of orange juice or apple juice or whatever, so that is an option. But as I found out after the other video, they don't contain any fruit pulp at all. It's totally just juice, no fibre, so you do have to be careful. It's not like in England where you can get it with pulp or without pulp. You've only got the one option, which is low in fibre. So as I did with one of my meals the other day, I had some orange juice with some bananas, or I had some orange juice with some tofu sushi, you know, to get a bit of fibre in there. That it's very difficult. If you're a fruitarian in Japan, you have to be loaded, absolutely loaded, seriously. I mean, I know there are certain fruits in the UK that are expensive, so you couldn't live off watermelon, certainly not, but you know, big price differences. We've seen just single apples that are about £2, sometimes getting on for £2.50 for one apple, which is expensive. So I've not had any apples yet, basically. Water is cheap, so it's great to stock up on water, and it is safe to drink Japanese tap water as well, so you don't have to worry about that. You can buy a 2 litre bottle of water for about 70-80p, something like that. And then you can refill that as you go along. They do seem to have quite a lot of drinking taps, you know, fountains in parks and stuff like that, so that's brilliant. They don't have that in the UK, really. It's very, very rare. In fact, I don't remember anywhere that's done that in the UK, so that's a bit of a difference. So yeah, you should learn some Japanese language skills if you want to make sure that you're getting totally vegan foods. I have at the moment been kind of living off noodles, and I've been getting some pots that basically, as far as my knowledge of kanji goes, they have no meat in, no egg, and pretty sure they don't have any fish in. But that's very rare, very, very rare. It's taken me a lot of time to scout out which ones do, or well, which ones are suitable, basically. And yeah, restaurants, it's very difficult. In Tokyo, there's very, very few vegan restaurants. We didn't have time to look for any of the vegan restaurants that I might have done otherwise. We're just so busy, so much to do. We were in different places every day. We went to Akihabara, we went to like more central Tokyo. We tried the Tsukiji fish market, which wasn't really an interest for both of us from the perspective of buying fish, but it was to see people in the big hustle and bustle, because it's one of the biggest markets that you can go to, I'm quite sure. But it was closed when we went there anyway, so we didn't actually get to see anything. Yeah, then we've been to Harajuku and Shibuya, as I mentioned before. They do like a lot of cakey things. There's a lot of places where they'll just do pancakes or cakes, coffee. There's quite a few burger places as well, which is a bit awkward. You know, there are vegetarian options but not vegan options, so it's a little bit like you're going to have fries or onion rings or something and sort of risk it. So yeah, my diet has definitely changed for the duration of being here, in the sense that I've not been eating fruit all the time. I just can't do it. I would run out of money basically trying to do that. But now we're in Kyoto, and Kyoto is basically, from what we've seen, is one of the, what I'm going to call the more vegetarian friendly city. As I showed you in another video, I printed out a map of Kyoto and where all the places were to visit based on the Happy Cow website. And today we got to our hotel at about 3:30 in the afternoon, went for a walk. We were walking around for ages, scouting out different cafes, restaurants, seeing what was available. So far, there are far more categories on the menus that say vegetables, that are just vegetables only. You know, more salads. I saw a place before that had avocado and tomato salad, so definitely going to find that place again. and we actually found a vegan cafe today. We went to a little pub, well, an izakaya, which is like a tiny little pub, and normally serve like beer snacks and stuff like that. We went there, had a wonderful time. There was an old man in there who was really friendly. We managed to have pretty much a full conversation in Japanese, although there was a lot that we didn't understand each other, but we did manage to talk about politics and stuff, which was amazing in Japanese. I didn't think I'd be able to understand any of that, but anyway. After that, we were really hungry, and I had one of my happy cow maps with me, so I thought, okay, let's go find this place. And didn't know the name because, you know, I just had all the points on, so it was kind of a lucky dip as to what kind of restaurant it was going to be. And it was basically like a little cafe. There was one old guy working there, and we had vegan burgers which were served in homemade pita bread with fresh lettuce, tomato, vegan mayonnaise and mustard, and it was like a ketchupy sort of sauce as well. And then we had some fries, which were steamed potato, which were then lightly fried, so not oily at all. Oh, it was amazing. It was homemade and fresh and just, yeah, so it was really lovely. And the burger was just like, it was tofu and I think a bit of rice and some other ingredients in there mashed together, but it just had such a fresh flavour. Really nice. I've got some photos of the menu, which I'm probably gonna, I don't know if I'll put them up somewhere. I don't know where, unless you follow me on Tumblr, but the photos won't go up for at least another 2 or 3 weeks until I get back. So anyway, I might do a little transcript of the menu below so you can see what we had. But yeah, there's a kind of cuisine available called Shojin Ryori, pardon my pronunciation, which is basically monks' food or monks' cuisine, so that's totally vegan cuisine. The only thing is, it's very expensive, so we might be paying £25 for lunch, which I don't know if that sounds a lot or a little to you guys, but so far we've had very cheap experiences with food. We've been very lucky. For dinner you might be paying 5,000 yen upwards, which that's looking a little bit more like 30 to 40 pounds, and that would be for one person's, like, one meal. But Shojin Ryori is lots of different things, so you don't just get one bowl. You'll get one bowl of rice, a few bowls of pickles maybe, and a few other dishes together. So you might get between 5 and 10, maybe even 15 little individual bowls of things to try. So as soon as we go there to one of these kinds of restaurants, I'll be taking lots of photos. I haven't been doing any videos so far of going to restaurants and stuff because generally it does seem to be quite rude to do. I've managed to sneak a few photographs, but it's not very good etiquette to go in and be like, oh, look at my food here, and taking a video. It's just not great. I've been really getting the feeling from people what is rude and what is not. So, you know, on the Shinkansen today, we travelled from Tokyo to Kyoto, and all the people on there were silent, quiet as a mouse. And Chris and I, we were watching a film, but Chris, you know, it's not his fault, he just has a much louder laugh than most of the Japanese people that we've met so far. So he was, you know, laughing away, and it was very audible on this train of very quiet Japanese people. So you kind of get used to it. And it's like, we were out in a place the other day, and there was an American family, and there was a small child who must have been like 10, 11, or maybe 12 years old or something. He was so loud, and it was really obnoxious. I thought he was really rude. I know he was young and he was a kid, but honestly, there were like hundreds of Japanese people there, all quiet. And then this one kid was like, "Hey mom, come and look at this fish, look at it, it's massive," and he was shouting. Oh, it was just really rude, and you could see all the Japanese people, they didn't want to say anything, but they were kind of like all together, sort of. Even us, we were just like, please be quiet, you know, we were thinking it out loud, basically. Anyway, yeah, I think that's kind of all I wanted to say today about the experiences so far. I might go into more detail in another video, but I just wanted to get something out because I realise I'm not doing video in a few days, and you know, you guys might want to know how I'm doing. You know, I'm not dead, I have been managing to eat, but it's very difficult, so don't come here expecting it to be a rice haven, certainly not in Tokyo. You know, you do have to do your research, learn the language, learn how to say the foods that you don't eat. Very, very important. And you know, the people so far, they've been really, really impressed that we can even speak a few words in Japanese, so it will take you a long way. You know, a few words, they will be very impressed. And yes, if you can say your one sentence, then they ask you something back, you might not have any idea what they say, but just do a bit of learning. You know, it doesn't take much to learn a few sentences in Japanese that are like, I mean, you can get a guidebook that has set phrases for you. It's definitely worthwhile doing. You should invest in that. Or, you know, if you're really, really rich, you'll be fine, because you can just go to a conveni, go to a supermarket, buy 50 bananas for your day, and you'll be made. So you've got two different options there: learn the lingo or get loaded. So, you know, start a YouTube channel, start making some money, and then go out there once you've made your wealth. Anyway, I'm having such a fantastic time, and I probably try and do a few more videos if we manage to find a few more vegan places here, because there are quite a few more in a close proximity. Very excited about it. And yeah, thanks for keeping up to date with all my videos anyway. It's yeah, well, if you have any questions or anything, please leave them in the comments below. I'm very prepared to try and answer any questions you have. Throw them at me. And yeah, I will see you next time. Bye!